I know, I was gone for the last 6 days. Never happened on this channel before. I will be back with the old schedule moving forward, so rest assured you will get more content the upcoming week. And before we jump into the tier list update, the tier list video, quick thing, because I never talk about it and I always forget it, to be honest. A season 4 of the partner program started, so if you don't support any creator right now, feel free to support me. Or hey, if you wanna switch from whoever you're supporting right now or whatever, feel free to support me there. I really appreciate it. And let's try to hit 100 supporters, would be cool. Like a personal goal for me, to be honest. Let's jump into the tier list. There are a couple adjustments I made. So first and foremost, A5 Alicia remains at 100. There's no change to her whatsoever. If you look at from a current meta perspective, you could theoretically rank her down, but the reason why I don't do that is simply the fact that even though the meta is not beneficial for Alicia right now, she still remains the most complete DPS unit in the game, and that doesn't change the fact. And especially because Netmarble still designs content in a way where they deliberately design bosses where they are water resistant, where they can only be frozen once and then they are immune to get frozen by Alicia for a certain duration, or they are immune to freeze entirely just to reduce her damage output overall. I mean, even if you look at the guild boss, if we could freeze the guild boss, Alicia's damage, you can just simply double or triple her damage output, but because that is not possible, her damage is lacking in the grand scheme of things. For the changes I made to the 95 category, so Char went up 5 points with her A5 and I upgraded her A3, but her I5 jumped to 95 because of Go. I will rank Go in a bit, but because of Go, she jumped to the top of the 95 list and Go made her meta relevant. That's why she's now 95. She deals a lot of damage now. She's relevant for most of the content right now, and that's why she is at the spot. Also, there's a change. Min is not at the top of the supports anymore. It is now Fisher, starting with A3, where Fisher provides that power gauge boost and her ability to reduce the cooldowns of ultimate skills. Fisher is just the best support in the game right now. Like, even as a universal, she was designed for Alicia, but funny enough, she's also the best support for Char right now when it comes to, for example, to guild boss and stuff like that. That's why Fisher, no doubt, the best supporter right now. The problem with Min is that he does not have his disguise ability in team fight modes. He only has that when you play traditional free player hunter mode, and that is a drawback for him because he cannot apply a 15% damage increase taken debuff, only a 5% one, and when he's casting his ult, he does not provide a crit damage boost, so his support abilities are fairly limited, but still he remains in the 95 category at a 5, but at the very bottom, like close to 90, but very bottom there. Now for the 90 category, nothing really changed, I believe, except for the things I already mentioned. Maybe I only moved, I think, Char up to A3. That's about, oh yeah, there's one certain change is I moved Emma down to 85. I am still not convinced if I should rank her lower than that, but I downgraded Emma from 90 to 85 because with the current content and everything, it is now visible how lackluster she can become. She's not that great anymore because also with the content and everything, hard to use her, and since she's a breaker, she doesn't even provide that good of a damage, but she's still a high because she is the only fire breaker available to us. That could change in the future. I hope to see a buff to the breakers in general. For the old breakers, I want to see a buff to the ultimate skills at a break mechanic, but we'll go more in depth in a bit. Except for that, the only other change I made from here is I moved Sio down. She moved from 85 down to 80 because, as I said, the older characters, I'd say patch 1.0 characters, or even I'd say pre-release characters, early access characters are fairly lackluster. You already notice a trend that they feel old and sluggish. They need to improve on CO. She's not that great anymore. That's why she got downgraded to 80. Her ascension do not change anything about that. And also big change, actually, I downgraded Yu Siyun heavily. She was her A5. I had her at 90 at a 90 score, and A3 and A1 at 85, and her Ascension 0 was at 80 as before. But after rethinking everything, I decided to downgrade her drastically because she's really not a good unit right now. Her damage is not anywhere close to a Alicia, a MaTeIRiA, or a Cha. From a DPS perspective, her skills take way too long, skill animations are way too long, her super armor doesn't do anything, fire relevance is not existent, even though she has in theory a elemental advantage no matter what with her Hellfire skill. The problem still remains, she takes way too much time. What would help her is a damage increase. I think that her entire defense penetration thing is not working in her list. I feel like to increase her usability on the tier list is, instead of buffing her with the defense penetration, make it a debuff, a unique debuff to enemies where we can land like 20-25% defense penetration. That would increase her usability a lot. Also, her skill animations need to be sped up quite a bit, and what also would help her is invincibility frames to skills, because she takes a lot of time. Give her invincibility frames so you can cast her abilities without any issues worrying, because she is a glass cannon unit. That would already help her out, but she kind of needs a rehaul, to be honest. She needs a rehaul. Whatever Netmarble decides to do, I already gave them here a couple of things they can improve. But yeah, that's why I cannot rank her higher than 80. That's already fairly generous because her usability right now is almost non-existent. And the only other changes I think I did at the bottom here is I actually upgraded Choi in the tier list. Instead of being a bottom feeder at 60, his usability increased. He's now at 65. Doesn't matter his ascension grade because of the guild boss. That's why he jumped in the tier list by 5 points. Now other people might be thinking, oh, why is he not up there at 80 or 75? The reason why he's not up there is simply because of one reason. Choi is still useless, a useless unit in the game. He's very bad. Like, he's one of the worst units in the game right now. And the only reason he gained 5 points is because his weapon, which is useful for the boss. So if Choi didn't have his weapon, or someone else had the ability his weapon has, Choi wouldn't even have any meta relevance whatsoever. So the only reason why he even got 5 points and jumped a tier is because of his weapon. His weapon is good, he's bad. Oh yeah, and I also downgraded Bike with the release of Go. He even lost his role as a light breaker. So there's no reason whatsoever to use that character. Wang Yingsu didn't change anything. He's still one of the bottom feeders and worst units in the game, because why would you use him when you can use MaTeIRiA, for example, right? Even at A0 or A1, doesn't change anything. But yeah, the Bikes and the Dongsus are the bottom feeders. Now let's talk about Go first. It's kind of hard to rank him a bit when it comes to his ascensions, but if I had to rank him, he's first of all the best breaker in the entire game, no questions asked. So I feel like at A0 he's even good at A0. He is at 80, but why is he below, for example, a Kim Chul? It's because starting with A1, where his core attack changes, is where he gets very good. So, and everybody who played the game when he got released should have A1 Go for free, right? And Go jumps immediately with his Ascension 1 to the top of 85, because at A1 he gets that core change which deals a lot of damage. Like his damage increases a lot when he gets there, and with his Ascension 3 he jumps another tier because that allows him to get an almighty break to his ultimate skill. But that is not the only thing. He increases his defense, which increases his overall damage, plus he receives a shield and he receives less damage. That just the A3 just insanely increases his survivability on the battlefield, and a lot of breakers are usually struggling with survivability outside of having maybe a shield. And usually breakers are mediocre with their survivability, but with Go at A3 he has very good survivability. Like you don't even need a heal at this point anymore because the shield is so thick and he can spam it so often. It's very easy for him to survive, and with his A5 it just becomes another monster. He gets more damage for his ult, plus he gets the buff, the Will of the Fragment buff for his entire team, which is basically a buff to Char. She now has increased crit damage and QTE damage depending on the situation, but it's just insane how strong Go is at A5. So he is for sure deserving in the 95 category, and yes, he is above Min because the amount of support this guy is providing to Char is insane. And just because of Go, Char jumped in the tier list to the very top, like slightly below Alicia in the grand scheme of things. If we talk about general usability currently, I would even rank Char higher than Alicia. You could even make the argument, you know what, Char is now a 100 unit, but I feel like she is not quite there yet because she does have issues with her kit, like sometimes MP issues. She's heavily reliant on her crit, stuff like that. But because of Go, she is definitely at the top here, and that's why he deserves his spot. Han, in my opinion, was hyped up a lot. We expected a lot from her. In my opinion, we just got disappointed. She has so many issues, really. If you really consistently and actively play her and think about the drawbacks she have in combat, her cooldowns are just way too long, the durations of her buffs are too short, and her skill animations take way too much time to execute. And really the only place you wanna use Han right now is together with MaTeIRiA, and that only for the guild boss. And outside of that, even if you do Power of Destruction, you rather wanna use Fisher for MaTeIRiA than you wanna use Han. Let that sink in. That's insane. Like, she has way too many drawbacks. That's why she's like somewhere in the middle ground at 80. Even with a support ability to get MP back for Jinwoo, it helps, but it's not the best. There's like, she has too many issues right now, really. That's why I cannot even with her Ascensions. Yes, A1 is absolute minimum for her to, you know what, let me do that adjustment. She is slightly up here maybe just because of her usability, but she just simply has issues with A1. You need that for MaTeIRiA for her to buff her up more effectively. Her A3 adds the invincibility effect to MaTeIRiA, which helps a bit. Could be better, to be honest. This is why I'm saying right now I cannot rank her higher even with her A5, all the buffs she's providing, even though she's basically increasing MaTeIRiA's damage. As I just said, she has so many drawbacks right now, so many issues that you cannot easily utilize her kit to make MaTeIRiA shine. And that's a bummer in my opinion. She's like a unit we were excited for because of the support, but the support she provides is, in my opinion, not good enough. So I cannot even get a rank her higher than 85. It's just not possible in my opinion. Now Harper, in my opinion, is a solid all-around breaker for the dark typing. She's fairly balanced, similar to Emma. Her A0 is good, starting with her A1 she is really good, and A3 and A5 really don't change much for her. Like her best ascension is her A1 because it helps her out with her survivability, because she generates a shield with her tenderizer which does more hits, and because it has an almighty break, allows you to break faster. And she has a lot of gimmicks, like you can use a QT to QT into the battle, and you can press while the animation is running your skill 1 Q skill, and you can even combine the QTE with skill 1 together in one fluent animation. It's like very cool what they do with these new school characters. In the grand scheme of things, she does provide damage. She has certain buffs for Charlotte, even though they are not as good as you might think they are. But from a breaker perspective, she is as good as Go, might be even better than Go at breaking. It's hard to say, but I think I would say she's better than Go at breaking. The reason why Go is still better is because Go is just slightly worse at breaking, even though he's very, very good, but he provides better damage output and he just has the better debuffs and buffs overall. But she's solid unit, you cannot go wrong with her. A1 is absolute max you need for her, you don't need to go higher. It's good enough. She's fairly difficult for me to rank, to be honest. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, how you would see it. Personally, at A0, she is whatever, to be honest, out of the box, I'd say. So 85 is where I rank her. She is, in my opinion, worse than Harper per se at A0, because Charlotte just gets better with her ascension. But starting with A1, where she now only needs to use a basic attack 3 times and only has a 20-second cooldown, that changes a lot for her entire kit with her ult, because she involves all around her ult, gives her a big boost to the 90 mark, and when she's at A3, that boosts her ultimate skill damage, which makes her even more potent, which in my opinion boosts her like almost at the top of 90. With her ascension 5, that's also because of her A4, she's now casting her basic attack a lot faster. They don't feel now like 0.5 speed, they now feel like 1.0 speed now, which allows her to get the ult faster, and you do always like these double ult rotations with her, and she does a lot of damage when you combine her together with Min. And as well as now she gets a unique buff which increases her damage. Like, she has actually very, very insane damage output. She has like insane buffs. The reason why I cannot rank her high, I'm also, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm not sure if I want to rank Go higher than her, or if A5 Charlotte is higher than A3 Go, but I will just stick with this for now, right now. The reason I cannot rank her higher right now is because I feel like her AI is stupid. I tested it on multiple occasions, because now after they change her, now she doesn't use her teddy bear ability anymore. I feel like she needs fixing when it comes to this. Maybe they also have to check their numbers if the numbers are correct. And also, we do not have the dark support character yet, Isla, which will be released after Gina. At the end of October, we will get the dark support, and that might change things for Charlotte. That could catapult her right at the very top or something. Who knows? As of right now, I cannot rank her higher. She is very, very good, but I feel like there's just a little bit of lacking to get her to 95. Like, if they fix at least her AI, make her AI very smart, because she has a more complex skill rotation than any other character. That's why she cannot enter the 95 range for me. If they can make her smart, she can be like very, very high on that list. But because of the AI issues she has right now, because we don't have a dedicated support for her, I cannot rank her higher than that. Yeah, that sums up the entire Hunter Ascension tier list, updated end of September. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as well as if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate it, and see you with the next one. Deuces.